Hey guys, this is Thomas over here at nursemoneytalk.com, and in this video what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start a series over nursing school tips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the tip, and then I'm going to explain, real briefly, why I think the way that I think over that particular topic. And so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming tips, and also make sure to leave a comment if there's like a question you've had on when it comes to nursing school, and who knows, it might actually be covered in one of the upcoming videos. So let's go ahead and get started with, as you can see from the title, my first tip, which is, guys, you need to make sure that you have cloud storage. Like, you have to. I am on the camp that you have to have cloud storage. And for those of y'all that think you have cloud storage, you need to make sure it's actually working the way it's supposed to. Now, let's go into why you need cloud storage. Guys, it is like it gives you backups. Like, it's backups in case something really bad happens. Like, you would be shocked how many times, a hard drive might fail. I mean, some of you guys are rolling, because, you're schooling on a budget. You're rolling with these cheap computers, which the hard drive might go out on you. I've rolled with cheap computers. I've had, when I was in college, I've had two hard drives fail on me 2 times when I was going through school. And some of you guys, you have more expensive computers, and even you guys that are rolling in these Macs. Now, these are more expensive computers, especially the Macs. That doesn't mean that that you can't still have something that happens, like the hard drive fails. The other thing is, once again, for this is probably less so for the non-traditional students, I should say. But for those of y'all that are traditional students, you're young, living with like roommates or whatever, throwing, random parties or what, it still does happen. And so what you will find that could happen, once again, this also happened to me, is a party's thrown, and then somebody gets robbed, something gets stolen. So having cloud storage is a way to ensure that even in the midst of computers breaking, stuff getting lost, stuff getting stolen, that you can always be able to get a backup of that. I'll tell you guys a story that has to do with this. I remember when I was, this was, I think, my first or second year in college, and I was taking, it was an English class, right? This was the first time I had a hard drive fail on me. You would think I would have learned the first time, but I was a dummy and I did not. And also back then, cloud storage wasn't kind of a thing. It was back when, you were probably emailing stuff to yourself was probably more common than anything else. Or using like the little, what they call, little jump drives or whatever. But anyway, so I was working on this computer in the dorm room, and then all of a sudden, I was working on a paper, I should say, in the dorm room, and all of a sudden the computer went blank. And it just died on me. At first, I was thinking oh crap, maybe the battery just died. And I'm looking, I was like, wait, this is plugged in. Could not get this thing to restart. Long story short, the hard drive had failed. I wasn't sure what was going on back then. I had to rewrite this entire paper, and I was about done, and it was due the next day. So I stayed up all night to rewrite this paper. It sucked. It was awful experience. Guys, this happens. I've talked to people who, stuff fails on them or something weird happens. This happens. The other thing to keep in mind with cloud storage is that you can access it anywhere. And so, whether it's, so for example, I have my phone, I have a tablet, and I have a up, like my desktop. And then also have like a laptop. All my stuff is synced through the cloud or whatever, and I'll get to, some good options out there. And, a lot of them aren't even going to cost you anything. And some of you guys are probably already paying for this and you don't even know it. And so regardless of which device I'm on, I can always get access to my documents, like PDFs or whatever, photos or whatever else that I have saved. That's the beauty of this, is that it makes it easier to be able to access your device regardless of which device you're actually using. Or if you have to go from working on your computer to maybe like going to the computer lab at your school to print something out, it makes it really easy to be able to do it without having to go through some extra steps. Some of y'all are going to have some complaints, right? Your complaints might be, well, it's expensive, or your complaint, the other popular complaint might be that it's going to be a hassle to have to deal with it. So let's start with the first complaint, which is that it's expensive. So a lot of the cloud storage options out there all give you like so much space for free already. So you go, if you think about like your Google Drive, so that's, what's attached to like your Gmail account, like you get, I want to say it's 15 gigs for free or something like that. And I actually don't know what the, what the current, how much they're giving for free. I want to say it's probably like 15, or at least at one point it was like 15. And at one point Dropbox was giving, I think, 2 gigs for free or something like that. And I'm pretty sure they're still giving you a little bit of cloud storage for free. And so those are probably two very popular options right there. And you get a little bit of space for free. And for some of you guys, like when it comes to the papers you're writing, that's going to be more than enough to get through, to get through school. And even then, it's definitely going to be more than enough to get through like, a semester, even if you have to start deleting some after the semester's over. And so I already gave you guys some good names out there. Google Drive is a good one. Dropbox is also a good one as well. Some of you guys are paying, if you are paying for like Microsoft OneDrive as well. So if you have like, depending on which Office plan that you have, if you do have Microsoft Office, you probably already have so much of, Microsoft OneDrive that you're already paying for. Or if you have parents that have Microsoft Office, they're probably already paying for, for Microsoft OneDrive. I mean, you're already, taking money and food from them. Go ahead and take the storage space from them that they're not using. So definitely, so you definitely do have some options out there. And as for it being a hassle, okay, so it's going to take a little bit of effort to go ahead and download, create an account. But after that point, it's fairly effortless. You can actually, I know with like Dropbox, you can actually pick and choose, which files that you want automatically to be synced and uploaded on a regular basis. They actually create their own folder on the computer itself. And so then you can just save to that folder, and then that folder automatically syncs. And then the beauty of that, now that I'm thinking about it, especially with Dropbox, is that then you can go in and actually it gives you an option to move that stuff from your actually internal storage on your computer, and just only have it in the cloud, and then that actually ends up freeing up space on your computer. This is really key, especially if you have like one of the cheaper computers, and so you have very little storage space on there. And so I think that could actually end up saving you, a fair bit of hassle as well. So I think when it comes to the argument of it's kind of a hassle to get it set up, it's extra work initially. But the thing you have to keep in mind is this potentially saves you a whole lot of headache later. Think of the story that I just told you. It's something that you're going to think you're not going to find the value of it until you actually need it. And then you'll be kicking yourself that you didn't take this advice and go look at getting that set up. And for you guys that think that you have stuff that's backing up to the drive, please go look at your computer and double check and make sure that things are actually saving up there the way they should. Because there was somebody who, yeah, one of my coworkers, for instance, had iCloud, which now that I'm thinking about it, iCloud is another good one that some of you guys are probably already paying for. And I think Apple might give you a little, like some space on there for free anyway. But they thought that they had stuff being backed up. Like they thought they said it. Come to find out that they didn't. I think they ended up throwing away a computer. They got rid of a computer thinking that everything was backed up. It was not. So, moral of this story is have cloud storage, and if you have it or if you think you have it, double check and make sure it is actually saving.